Clothing in Fatimid Cairo was often a display of inconspicuous consumption during the 11th to 13th centuries. One of the greatest sources for displaying wealth was the headwear. Only extreme circumstances such as mourning for the death of a loved one would drive an urban woman out of her home with her hair exposed. Men would not be considered fully dressed until wearing a turban. Such modesty was a sign of respect for one's faith and one's family. It is difficult in our modern day to imagine placing such importance on clothing for the head, but is an essential key to understanding the culture under study. The ancient tradition of Cairo's bathhouses were very unique, and now we set foot in one of the hammams. The lobby sports 4 tables in the corners, each with some chairs for bathers to rest, eat, or drink, centered around the high round deck where massages and scrubs take place. A typical visit will take 2 hours and bathers will pass through 5 steps. The first stage involves 10 minutes of hot steam, followed by the second step of a dip in hot water bath, followed immediately by a plunge in a cold water one. This process is repeated 3 to 4 times in order to open the pores in the skin and get rid of sweat and dirt. At the third stage, the bather is given a thorough massage. The fourth step involves a thorough scrubbing with a Moroccan bath loofah, which will remove dead skin and accumulated dirt, which is concluded with the last step, a final rinse with soap and a regular loofah, leaving bathers refreshed and relaxed. We don't know very much about the food at this time, but we can conclude that big cities need a more predictable, more regular table supply. For Cairo, between the Arabs' arrival from the east and the Fatimids' arrival from the west, domesticated chicken appeared in Egypt and became the city's most popularly consumed food. After research, it was probably the places in the streets of Fatimid Cairo that developed the taste for chicken meat in Egypt. If we start by taking a bird's-eye view of the marketplace in the Fatimid era, we would find the market cutting the city by half from the first gate in the north of Bab al-Futuh down to the south gate of Bab Zuwayla. Moving down in the market streets, we find the Kasaba, or the spine, which was the traditional name for the market at the time due to its geographical position and its importance to people. While walking through the market with shops on both sides of the street, you would find people using pure gold dinars as their main currency of exchange. The reason for the use of pure gold is that the Fatimids came with gold from North Africa and also started mining for gold in the Nubian part of Egypt. The market is divided into several sections. Each section is for a certain craft or product that is sold. The most significant sections were the Al-Nahasin, which you will find master craftsmen in the art of crafting copper lamps and copper products. The second section would be Al-Sawa, which is a section full of jewelry shops who sell more or less the same jewelry products. These jewelry shops also act as workshops for craftsmen, but they were usually found at the back of the shops. While moving along the market, you can see the next set of shops were the shops for spices. This section of the markets was called Al-Ghuraya, and as soon as you came close you could tell by the smell of Arabian spices such as cumin, and also by the presence of other spices such as cinnamon and saffron, which were present in these markets as a result of foreign trade. Al-Magharbili section is one of the very important sections of the market, as it's responsible for the holding all the butcher shops which sell all meat-related products. Alongside the Magharbili section we find Al-Khayyamiyya section, which is still present these days. In the days of the Fatimids, the people of the Khayyamiyya section are responsible for making tents to be sold. Along these very important sections of the market, we find something that is still present today, which is the Wikala. In brief, a Wikala is a building that was used by foreign traders as a place of accommodation and as well as a place to sell their goods in the shops. As for the festivals of the Fatimid Cairo, the New Year's ceremony was something that came more than once for the Fatimid Cairns. They regarded the Night of Decree or Laylat al-Qadr to be a new year. The Copti Namruz, falling on the first day of Nowruz, was celebrated by both Muslims and Christians. But the Khalifa and Mu'izz prohibited public festivals on Namruz, and he even arrested and publicly humiliated the celebrants. The New Year's that actually mattered for the Fatimid government was that which marked the beginning of the 2 fiscal years. One was the rise of the Nile, which marked the start of the year for the land tax, the Kharaj, and the other one was the first of Muharram, which is the beginning of the Muslim lunar calendar. But no great public festivals happened. The biggest celebration, however, for the Fatimids were the festival of fast breaking and the sacrifices festival. As for the protocols of rank, the Fatimids used an elaborate dialogue in which they had to acknowledge and ascertain their relative ranks and parties involved, basically known as the protocols of rank. Dismounting as a sign of respect was a well-established New Eastern tradition. There is a rich vocabulary in Arabic to express the ideas inherent in the notion of the protocol, which in Arabic is rusum. It is fundamentally something that is prescribed and the term that officials were received by on festival. The most common term was adab, which is the comprehensive Arabic term that reveals a preoccupation with all the forms of human behavior.